Well, folks, we are at the Carolina Thread Trail. It's one of many trails that runs around through North Carolina. It's a collection of trails anyways, the Thread Trail. And this looks like a really nice trail. It's a natural path. It's not paved. One of the things with Dakota now is that he's drags his feet quite a bit because he's old and he's lazy. So we look for natural paths instead of concrete because he can't walk on the concrete ones anymore. It is October 21st, I guess, Sunday, and it's really cold for the North Carolinians. It's almost down around 50, so nobody's out. It's kind of breezy in the open spaces, but this trail is empty. It's got a great big parking area, but we're gonna do a little hiking. We are still waiting to get... Now, I don't understand that. You see these along trails sometimes. I don't understand what the significance of that is. So I don't know if that means that maybe somebody died here, or why is that there? I would hope nobody's buried or died here, but... So we are still waiting to get the trailer and the Exploder back from the car dealer in Hiawassee, Georgia. They were having trouble getting the parts, they told me. And I noticed if you go on the FordParts.com website, it does take 7 days to get those parts. You can go on a dozen other websites and it only takes 3 days. And of course they're half price, so the Ford parts must be coming from China. And they've got tariffs on them, which make them $380 for an axle, while for everybody else it's around $100. So, but what can you do? It's what happens, you know, happens. And I don't have any choices to get that car anywhere else to get it fixed. And the dealer's been really good to me as far as giving me a car to drive and get back and all that. The boys had their cousin come visit them yesterday. Bonnie, the German Shepherd my niece owns. And they did nothing the entire day from probably 9 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, but tear around at full speed in the house, in the backyard, wherever. I was surprised they could get up and walk today. Keela could not jump up on the bed though, so he was, indeed, he was tired. But they got up this morning and they're looking around for us saying, where's our playmate? Anyways, this is a nice trail. It's one noisy forest. I don't know if you can hear all that. But the birds there's just at least 50 birds in the trees as we came in from the parking lot. And boy, they were making a lot of noise. I don't know how old this trail is. It's a really nice trail. I mean, right now it's all covered with leaves, but it's, you know, it's cut into the side of the mountain, and it really amazes me the amount of moss on the side of the mountain. I mean, this is really thick moss and mushrooms that, you know, it makes you think that it's a really old trail. The trees aren't that old, though. The trees are only, those are beech trees. They may be a little older. People didn't used to cut down beech trees because the wood wasn't very good for lumber. So there are some big old beech trees in here, but most of the other trees are fairly young. We're up on the side of the hill, and then there's kind of a bottomland in the middle between us and whatever's over there. And it's like pretty interesting area to look around. But as I said, this is a North Carolina thread trail section, and it's supposed to be about 2 miles long. It's got about 5 of these bridges according to the map that they've built over these little washes. But this is one of these neat little areas that, oh, Aquila found mud. He loves mud. Somebody's going to think there was a wolf pack in here. You okay, buddy? Ugh. You have to take the good with the bad, and having him not on leash means that if he finds some gross, disgusting, muddy water, he's going to run through it. So much for being a puppy. It's amazing to me how deep the channels for these little streams are in Carolina. You know, in New York, the streams are always at ground level, really. We are still up on the ridge, but I see one of the reasons why. Down below is the river. I don't know what river that is. I think it may be the Yadkin River. One of the bigger rivers that goes through, or one of the upper branches of the Yadkin River. It's the middle of October, and you can see, while quite a few leaves have fallen, the trees are not colored. It's not quite like walking in the Adirondacks and seeing all the beautiful golds, reds, oranges. We've come upon a section of the trail that's now side of a flood area. Oh, it's just a waste of time to tell him anything. You're such a brat. Get away from me, you brat. What's the chance there's alligators out there, huh? Come on. Come on, Dakota. Now, once in a while when I'm hiking, I see a tree with bands around it like this. I wonder if that means the tree's in a gang. You know, remember, I'm from New York. People wear bands on their arms and on their heads, and that tells you they're in a gang. We have crossed into some property, some different property, I think. But there are a lot of really big trees. Some really nice oak trees that probably would have been logged out 20 years ago if they had logged this area. It's a nice oak tree there. And here's a concrete wall for some reason. Dakota is really doing pretty good. When Caesar got sick, I started dosing them heavily on glucosamine and chondroitin. And when Caesar went, we stopped. We ran out anyways. And I've started maxing him on the glucosamine again, and he really does seem a lot better. I mean, he doesn't usually go in the front, as you probably know if you've watched me before. And he actually wants to keep up, so he's doing pretty well. He's doing pretty good for going on 13 in in 6 months. Whoa! Hello, Mr. Snake. What kind of snake are you? I think Dakota stepped on him. I'm sorry. I'm just going to walk around you. Get it nice in the sun, nice and warm in the sun. Good bug. You might see things like this along the trail and think they're trash, but that's a geocache box if you've never seen one before. Aquila found it, and I put it back where he found it, but must be a geocache site right here along the trail. Not hard to find anyways. Here's some telltale signs of something. See the vine with all the, it almost looks like a hairy vine crawling up the side of a tree. I believe that's poison ivy. It's all poison ivy, all the way up that tree and up all the trees around it. We are surrounded by a poison ivy forest. So you can see the size on this tree. It's a big tree and it's quite straight and quite tall. Yeah, lumberman's dream there. And for those of you who are interested in my dogs and dog training and how I keep my dogs in pretty good obedience, when we're on these hikes, I do tend to put them on leash for 5 or 10 minutes and walk at heel and practice sitting and staying and down and all the things. Now Dakota doesn't do too much of that because he does it without the leash, and with Aquila we're just starting a lot of that. He does really well at heel and he does really well at sit. He's getting good at down. But with him, because he's a puppy, he's not quite 6 months old yet. So with him, you really have to let him get the zoomies out, or he's not going to pay any attention. He's just got too much going on in his brain to pay attention to training. So get out of there. What are you doing? But we do use the time off leash to train, to make sure he knows, come, hey, Aquila, come. And always good come, always a good come, and a come and a sit, and I can put the leash on him free, and then send him back out to play, and he's happy. So that's one of the reasons I let him off leash, so he can burn energy and I can practice his comes. And I don't carry treats, which a lot of trainers will tell you should always have treats, but there's going to be times you don't have treats and they should still come. And they should always know that they should come to you for protection, not just for treats. Okay, we're getting to mud, so I got to put him on leash. I don't want him mud going back to the car. Well, folks, we're back to the car. That was a nice little hike. We did just about 4 miles. It was a real nice trail, real nice hike. Hopefully I'll get back to camping soon, get the exploder back in gear and get the trailer all set up. A little worried that the trailer is going to be in a freeze zone before I can get it back and winterize it. But thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. There's lots of stuff going on. Remember, there's playlists for Aliner stuff. There's a playlist for hiking in New York and the Adirondacks and boondocking. All different playlists. So check out the playlists if you haven't been on the channel for a long time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on our next hike, the next trip. Bye, folks. Aquila, you want to say goodbye?